Are you about to watch this video and you're not liked and subscribed to it? Like the video, please. Just go down. It's right there. It's right there.
I did. I hit it. I hit it. Have you hit it?
Welcome back to Starting Nine.
Let's go.
Episode 291. We're officially in the thick of the off season. We've already done a little roadie. We just got back from Texas.
I was just going to say, Jared, how's your face right now?
I thought you were going to say, how's my hand? What do you mean? What happened to my face?
It got melted by Jack White.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I was like, I don't know where he's going with this. I had an awesome game.
Yeah.
You
wanted Oh, hey, fans. You guys want to take? I'm going to give you guys a quick 10 seconds to guess where Jared played in this game.
What are you talking about?
If you said Dallas, right field, you are correct. You are correct.
That doesn't make sense after Little League.
That makes
once you play after Little League,
it comes full circle.
Right fielders are good at baseball.
No, then it comes
Mookie
full
Betts,
circle again.
Aaron Judge, Roberto Clemente, some of the greatest players in the history of the game.
Jared,
right fielders.
We're on the
chirp.
We're on the celebrity charity
when
circuit.
You talk about Little Leaguers. If
you don't
your
understand.
kid is in right field in Little League, he's probably not very good. That's okay. He's out there. He's having fun. Loves baseball. He's trying his best. Once you get to the big diamond, right field, pretty important position. Especially Dallas. And I didn't want to get into this immediately. I really didn't. I really didn't want to have to bring this up right away. But since we're on the topic of right field and how right fielders can be important. Runner on first base. Base hit through the right side. The right fielder scoops it up. How many people on planet Earth can keep that runner at second base because they have such a fucking cannon that they can just shoot to third and strike fear into the heart of that base runner? Because I'm one of those guys. And I haven't played organized baseball in 10 years.
You're not one of those
guys. I
guys.
can just roll out of bed and
false.
be able to shoot a one-hopper from 600 feet away. Right field,
we played at the
third
fucking
base,
Polo Grounds?
keeping that runner
Where were we
at
playing?
second
We're playing on
base.
the same diamond?
And I asked the question because Dallas and I went to go get pizza after the game. I said, Dallas, objectively speaking,
oh my God,
if I were a major league outfielder, would I have the worst arm in the league? The answer is no, I wouldn't. I definitely have a better throwing arm than at least a couple major league outfielders.
If you're going to tell this story, I'm going to force
Dallas,
you now. I'm going to force you now to put a name to whoever you're going to use as credibility right now. Because if you're going to tell this
Dallas
story,
said,
you better
no
put a name
chance.
to
You
it.
would have the worst throwing arm in Major League Baseball.
Put names
so we
to
get
it.
to the bar where Jack White is about to perform, and there's an active major leaguer there who saw my throw.
Say his name.
He saw it. And I'm not going to name names here. Let's just assign a fake name to protect the identity. Let's just say it's Brent Rooker, right? Let's just say that. His opinion, this anonymous, active Major League Baseball player said, if Jared were in the big leagues right now, he would not have the worst throwing arm in the league. An active Major League Baseball player said that after watching what I can do from right field, which Dallas deems as a unworthy, meaningless, degrading position to be in, which is just simply not true. It's not true.
It's true now because you go from Little League and then you find your way on the charity / lukewarm celebrity softball / baseball sandlot circuit, and you are a right fielder. You're not a shortstop. You're not the center fielder.
I never claimed to be an athlete, Dallas.
No, I know.
I just said I'm
not saying you
cannon.
did.
That's all.
I don't know that to be true either.
Well, I think we kind of proved it.
But we had.
I think there are people who were there, who saw what happened. They were left speechless. Many of whom were like, I didn't know that this kid had it in him. Should he be in the big leagues right now? Maybe. I don't think anyone said no. No one said yes.
Well, I don't
But I
think
think a lot of people are like,
that question. That
maybe.
question wasn't even asked. That wasn't even a topic of conversation.
Yeah.
What was awesome? What was awesome was watching Kurt Gibson. Kurt Gibson was out there.
Teammate. By the way, I want to let you get to this because I know that this was a cool moment for you. Why did we get put on separate teams?
I don't know. I didn't understand that.
I didn't either.
I mean, we're a package deal here, and
well, I'm glad because it led to me being able to face you for the first time.
Well, and I'm glad because I was able to show my skill at the plate, and I was able to. I don't want to say pick on you, but I was able to, just really challenge you the best I could.
Mm-hmm.
Sans hitting the ball over your head. I hit a deep fly ball, and well, I don't want to call it the winning run because we did win by one, but that run, and then the run that I scored earlier because I got multiple hits in that game. Yeah, it was just a great opportunity for you to showcase your skill set out there in right field because I believe at one point in time you actually pulled up video to show from the California Strong celebrity softball game.
I did, yep.
Just to sort of
just to hammer home the point.
And then I believe that video pull was followed up with a with another video pull of yours from
the All-Star game in
All-Star game in 2018.
Where I was able to throw a baseball from one end of the outside bar to the other into a trash can in the middle
Can we get of
a lightning storm.
Can we get an estimation on distance there? Because the throw that you're just talking about here was 600 feet.
It was short of 600, north of 450. North of 450. In the middle of a lightning storm. I mean, it's not even a situation where I didn't have time to Photoshop or edit in the lightning strikes. It's actually impressive how at the point of release, ball is in flight, lightning is in air.
We've all been
where
there.
did the baseball end up, Dallas?
Balls in flight during the point of release.
Where did the baseball end up, Dallas?
It ended up in the trash can.
It ended up in the trash can.
You threw it in the
which
shitter.
was the intended
You
target.
and I were playing catch, and that ball ended up in the trash can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just kind of left it there because I wasn't going to go chase it in the trash can.
Mm-hmm. So that's all I really wanted to say about that. It wasn't something where I wasn't trying to talk about this today. I really wasn't. I didn't want to get into a conversation about how an active major leaguer confirmed that my arm is major league caliber quality. I didn't want to talk about that today.
Jared,
we have award season to talk about.
The hot dog vendor in Oakland, Hal. He's got a major league capable arm if that's the case.
Yeah, we've got a lot of things that we've got to get into today. First, is this technically the first episode of the off season, or it doesn't count when you do the World Series recap episode.
Yeah, no, this is off season episode 1.
Yeah, off season episode 1, and I again did not want to have to do this,
but we're fully prepared and loved every minute of going with the lead story, making this the lead story. Jared's performance at the War Stick Sandlot baseball game was the lead story. So as we just said, we were in Dallas. Ian Kinsler, Jack White, our man Ben, they all put a little bat company together. You may have heard of them, called War Stick. Well, they just opened their flagship store. So Jared and I were lucky enough to be out there with folks like the baseballologist, with Coach Ballgame, Bouchambi, one of Jared's. I don't know if idol is the right word, but somebody Jared in more ways than one definitely looks up to. Ken Rosenthal was out there.
That is wildly unfair to say. Wildly unfair.
It was just a great time, and there's going to be a ton of awesome footage coming from that game and coming from a little concerto post game where Jack White was just
unfair,
fucking dominating the stage. and a killer interview with Jack, with again Ben, with Ian Kinsler. So please stay tuned for that. Video is going to be up on the YouTube as well. So I'm going to have to go check that out. I don't think there was anything unfair about this statement. We've got the Cubs Mount Rushmore coming, Carrabis.
But before we get into that,
the Cubs. I feel like we might have to get. Do we have to get Big Cat involved for this?
I feel like he might be a little busy. We
Yeah.
could ask him.
Well, I
could call. I bet you know what? You know what? Big Cat's definitely a dude that answers on the fly sometimes.
Yeah. Do you want to?
Well, we're not going to call him right this second.
No, we're not going to call him right this second. You know what I'll do?
Yeah.
I'll shoot him a text. But please proceed, Jared. What do we got? It is award season. Before we get into award season, can we have a little discussion about the Gold Glove stuff? Do we need to talk about that?
Do you want? I mean, I feel like I say this every year, but I'll say it again now. Every year I tell myself I won't get worked up about award season. Every year. Every year I'm like, you know what? The Gold Glove, it's all a sham. I mean, one guy that was getting really worked up about it, Marcus Strowman. I think he said, Marcus Strowman said he's not wearing Rawlings as a glove anymore because he didn't get nominated or win a Gold Glove.
He's going to make his own.
Really, I don't think Rawlings selects the winners. I think that they just sponsor the award, which seems really unfair to Rawlings. But he was upset about it. I don't get upset about that stuff, especially the Gold Glove, because I mean, how often does the best defender at each position actually win a Gold Glove? And then I saw the whole Manager of the Year, like Cora and Snitker not even being candidates for the Manager of the Year in their respective leagues. Insane. Absolutely insane. And I didn't want to get upset about it, Dallas. I really didn't. I had other plans.
Clearly you are.
No, I had other plans last night. I finished You Season 3. Have you gotten into that one yet?
We have not finished. We haven't even started Season 3, actually.
Okay.
We've been putting that off because we've been crushing other stuff. Nine Perfect
Like what?
Like we crushed Nine Perfect Strangers.
You know what?
The Only Murders in the Building. We crushed. What? Hey, Meg.
Hey, babe.
Where are you? What other shit have we been watching? Dope Sick, been dominating Dope Sick. It's kind of fucked up because Dope Sick is really leaving me dope sick for Dope Sick. Like, I get the episodes in me. Because we hammered, like, the first 4 or 5 or whatever it was in a day and a half. And it was awesome. And then it was like, fuck, we got to keep waiting.
Question for you. Because I just got this idea now.
Answer.
Not like a book club. I'm not interested in reading this off season.
Show club.
Yeah, I feel like for for you and I specifically, for the grounds crew, we should have some sort of like binge watch book club, just for the off season. It's like, hey, we can come up with like a list of movies that we should check out, and then we watch them that week in between episodes, and then we can, at the end of each episode, we can just do like a little recap about what we thought about it. We can take recommendations from the grounds crew as well.
Yeah, and I think we should be able. Yeah, we should reconvene and be able to discuss and talk about that on the next episode.
I would love that.
Okay, we'll figure that out. I'm definitely into that. Definitely into that.
Yeah, we can do some documentaries. I feel like it should be documentary specific because that's what gets the people going. That's what it's the thought process.
Well, you know one of my favorites, and we don't need to rehash it. But if you're bored between
Zeitgeist?
now and then, if you're bored between now and then, get Zeitgeist in you. But we'll talk about. Yeah. I'm into that. You know what we should do right now, Jared? While we're recording this, you should fire off a tweet asking about that. I'll retweet it, and
About Zeitgeist specifically, or
No,
about
no,
this
no.
segment? I was gonna say
No, about our yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, no, you don't
All
need
right.
that.
So it's
in your
not.
life.
We gotta workshop a name. It's like the Starting Nine book club, but documentaries.
Right. Like I'm thinking like like Film Room or something like that.
Yeah, it's the Starting Nine documentary club.
Yeah, we're just docking. That's what we're
just
doing.
docking.
Starting 9, docking.
Yeah, and I feel like there's so many dark web documentaries out there where we put it out to these people, and they're gonna be like, have you ever heard of this one? You gotta download it on LiveLeak. It's from 2003. The quality's not great, but it's gonna blow your fucking mind. That's where I'm at.
I am more than down for this.
Yeah.
More than down for this. Well, let's break down this award season.
Award season, Dallas. Award season, even though it drives me fucking nuts, and there's really not a ton of suspense with some of the major awards.
No.
For the record, what's today? Today's the 9th. Okay. Monday, November 15th is when we get the Rookie of the Year award announcements. Tuesday is when we get Manager of the Year. Wednesday next week is when we get Cy Young. Thursday is when we get MVP.
Do you have an issue with these awards not being just collectively all together? Like, if you've got an hour, can we work through that? We can't get all this taken care of, so it's all like so it can become appointment television.
I kind of like the idea of giving certain guys their own shine.
But now you'd be able to potentially make this an event, and you'd be able to stream this. You'd have all of these guys you'd have all of these nominees in the building.
Do you think that they would actually go though? Like if you're, what was it the year that I mean, obviously Mike Trout was hurt this year. He wasn't playing.
Right.
But in the peak years of Mike Trout, if you were nominated for MVP and Mike Trout played 160 games, are you delaying your off-season vacations? Like, all right, season's over. We want to book 10 days in Bermuda. Oh, but we can't because I'm going to be the fucking second runner-up for MVP. Like, I had a great year, but like Mike Trout's nominated. Why would I show up for that?
So then how about this? Why not schedule this award drop very close in proximity to the end of a potential Game 7, so that you
could do it. You could do it on like that off day.
No, because you've got guys that are in game mode, and I wouldn't be asking those dudes to put on a suit, get on a plane, do something, and you know what? No. You're playing for a fucking world championship. Like, I don't need you on an off day.
I mean, that's like the guys that pass on the Pro Bowl if they're in the Super Bowl. Pro Bowl being the week before, right? The Super Bowl.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe there, and I don't know, man. Maybe there's a way to incentivize these guys for coming to
Sure.
these things.
I mean, if Shohei Ohtani keeps this up, he's never going to have to worry about there being a conflict.
Wow.
Oh!
Wow.
That was mean.
Shots,
Hey, that was mean.
Shots
that was
fired
mean.
at the Halos fans.
That was mean, but it was fair.
Wow.
Angel fans, that was
Wow.
fair. That was a clean shot.
Jared Carrabis basically said Shohei Ohtani is like a wisdom tooth for a young adolescent. Get it the fuck out of there right now. It's only going to cause more pain. I can't believe you just said that.
I said it, but you know that it's true, though.
That is incredible. I mean, I'm on the record as saying pluck him like a dead chicken. Get him out of Anaheim. Get him out of there.
Yeah, at some point, maybe he just, I mean, you know, he's had some pretty pointed comments, and we don't need to make this a segment about getting Shohei out of Anaheim. But get Shohei out of Anaheim.
I mean,
if you ever want to see him in the World Series, if you ever want that to actually be an issue of conflict where it's like, oh, we're going to do award season on the off day before Game 3, so it's guaranteed. Can have a little ceremony before Game 3. Don't they bring out the Hank Aaron Award winner Doesn't that get presented during the World Series? Yeah, it does. I don't know which game it is, or if it is the same game every time, but they roll out awards for guys during the World Series, and players who win the Hank Aaron Award, they show up. So why not?
I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, if we're gonna, I'll say this: if players on the whole, they don't really want to have to be beholden to coming to something like that. If we're being honest, they'd rather be doing other things. But I also believe that if we're having the conversation about how we can continue to grow the game, and as players, you genuinely care about that, then I think there has to be an understanding. There's kind of got to be a meeting in the middle here where if we're going to choose to put the game on display and if we're going to choose to put the game on stage, then we need the commitment from those involved. Is that a fair ask?
I think it's not just a fair ask, but I think it's like I don't think that it will be the burden that you think it might be on certain guys.
Well, because look, I get to do fantasy camp for the Oakland A's. All right? And that is 8 days of me hanging out with fans and hanging out with former Oakland A's legends, and I love it. I thoroughly enjoy it. Like, it's 8 days of, yes, more baseball on a baseball field, and I couldn't be happier. But I take my family with me, and they love it. We get to do other things.
You've literally never taken me. I'm just saying, how many times have you taken me?
I've invited you multiple times.
How? What?
Yes.
You invited me the year that Randy Johnson showed up?
Multiple times.
I don't know about that, Dallas.
Multiple
I don't
times.
know about
There's
that.
been a standing invitation. I don't know that it needed to be done multiple years. The first day you meet me, you've got the standing invite. You knew that. Moving on.
I would like to do it the next time.
Well, you can come on down because we've got another awesome legendary speaker. Eric Chavez is going to be hanging out with us this fantasy camp.
Is he still the highest paid player in A's history?
Former teammate of mine. Believe that.
Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God.
For
You guys
sure.
are pathetic.
Anyways. So I get to spend that time with my family, and we turn it into a vacation, right? Grandma's out there, wife's out there, the kids are out there. We're doing fun stuff in Arizona. We're at the baseball field, having awesome dinners at night. Like, it's just there's stuff to do. So bring these folks to wherever it's going to be. New York. Bring them to, I don't know, do it in Florida. Do it in a nice spot. Like, who's to say you can't get all of these people to Hawaii or some island and just blow it out? But if you're going to make an effort to try to grow the game, or if you're going to make an effort to put the game on stage, I do believe that you need the commitment from players, but there needs to be an understanding that these are multi-gajillionaires who have shit they want to do. Some of them have other properties that have farms, and they have animals that need to be tended to, and they've got stuff going on, so you're going to have to incentivize them. But if they're a part of what's making your game great, and they're a part of what's generating revenue for your game, whether or not they walk away with the hardware is secondary to maybe how you could start revering your players. Since we're in the day and age of paying for these minor leaguers housing and trying to feed them better because, oh, that's right, we're kind of blowing the lid off of how fucking cheap the labor has been for God knows how long in this industry. So we're starting to try to make moves to shine a little bit of a better and brighter light on how things are done. Well, let's not stop there. Let's keep it going. Let's put this game on stage, but let's understand that there's got to be a give and take. I think that's fair.
I think it's very fair. I don't disagree.
Do we need to really run through the list
No.
of?
Well,
Kind of.
no, but yes. I feel like in the National League the answer is obvious, but for whatever reason there's a debate.
and you're going.
I mean, Juan Soto is the MVP. Like, gone are the days that the ultimate deciding factor is this player on a playoff team. Because the three candidates in the National League, none of them played in the postseason. It's just who had the best statistical season. That should be what the MVP is. And I'm sure that there are some people that are like, how can you be valuable to a team that didn't make the playoffs? And it's like, well, you can still be valuable to your team. Like, if we're talking about, if I were to remove player X from their team, how much worse is that team because of that removal?
Well, let me ask you this. Does Shohei Ohtani help define the V for people who want a waiver?
Yeah.
Does he help, like, kind of like force you to make that decision? That's what I've.
If he wins the MVP unanimously, like gets all the first place votes, which I mean, do you think it will be unanimous?
No, this is what I've said, and I've been screaming this since Shohei Ohtani showed up. I've been screaming this. The day that this man vies for the MVP is the day that you will find out who your favorite writer/voter and how they value the V, how they define the V in MVP. You will know, walking away from this, whether or not they give a damn about his team being in playoff contention or if they value his statistical performance. That's what you're going to find out. And there's no two ways about it. There's just not. Because if you don't vote for him, you're telling us that you value an individual's performance and where their team is at. And it doesn't matter to you that another player could have statistically outperformed them. And I'm not telling you you're right or wrong. I'm just telling you that that's how you're defining the V, whether you want to tell me otherwise or not. Because the only other side of that coin is you are in favor of the entire statistical body of work and the value of that as a specific and individual performer. Those are the only two ways that vote can go now, because you have the dude who is forcing you to make that decision. Nobody else was ever going to be able to force the voters to make this decision. So they're sort of being backed into, I don't want to say like they're being backed into a corner like they wouldn't have otherwise come out and said why they believe what they believe. I feel like voters maybe, for the most part, would have no problem saying, hey, this is where I come from. But they don't have any choice now because it's Ohtani. Because the dude has done something that nobody that's had a vote in this thing has ever seen before in their life. They've only heard stories about it, okay? And now that they've lived through it, you're going to be forced to put it on blast. What do you believe? Do you believe Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was really a more valuable overall performer than Shohei Ohtani was in this year of our Lord 2021 and the game of baseball that was played? Do you really believe that? Because if you do, you've got to vote and cast it. And whether or not you want to tell the world how you feel, your vote is going to tell the world how you feel. And that's all because of Shohei Ohtani.
Let me ask you this. Would you lose respect for someone, a writer, that did not vote for Shohei Ohtani? Is it that cut and dry to you that you would look at a writer who maybe voted for Marcus Semien?
No, because who am I to tell you on what level you can love this game and through what filters you can love this game? That's what's beautiful about this game, and that's what's beautiful about this conversation. As staunch as I might be in my stance, I am nobody to tell you why you should love one player or another and why you should value what that player did more so than the other. I'm just simply making my case for the argument that has long been had about the impact of a player. But it's been had because they've never had a player do both things that would kind of cancel that argument out. And now here that player is. And that's all I'm saying is everybody that's cast a vote for this award from their first vote cast to now has never been faced with this. I don't know if it's a predicament, but they've never been faced with making this decision. And now it's here right in front of them. And it's kind of like, oh, shit. I've been saying for years it's about the whole team thing and what kind of impact they have. But this motherfucker went out and won how many games? He hit the second most home runs in baseball, led baseball in triples. Like, what? No. Ah, damn it. Yeah. Yep. So I am nobody to tell you why you shouldn't cast your vote for Marcus Semien. I am nobody to tell you why you shouldn't value the impact of having a Vlad Jr. legend, the pedigree, the name, the impact. And no, if you want to fall in love with that and knock yourself out. Because I understand that this, for me, yeah, in my opinion, it's cut and dry, but I'm not gonna fault you for loving your guy. You're just wrong.
I'd just be interested to see, the difference in your tone if it were maybe a writer that you didn't like, really, that perhaps cast a vote for someone other than Shohei Ohtani.
I don't necessarily I don't think that I have writers that I don't.
Didn't you get in like a spat with some dude from San Francisco? I can't remember his name. I'm not even withholding it.
Yeah, and I don't even consider that guy. That guy's not even on my radar. I don't even
exactly. Yeah. I don't have any beef. I don't have any beef with any writers. The second I mention a writer, who the fuck's that guy? Fuck him.
That's not what I said at all. No, Jared, I told you I had a phenomenal moment with that individual in the elevator, and it was great because I told him before that happened, remember, buddy, we are going to share the same elevator at some point in time, and you're not going to be able to block me in real life. And it happened, and there were witnesses, and it was great. But yeah, no, I don't have writers whose opinion I value or is even moderately valued within the game that I don't like, or that I have any issues with. Because I'm a firm believer in taking in all sides, taking in all aspects of whatever it is you're covering or consuming. You got to do that. Otherwise, you're in an echo chamber, and that's not good for anybody.
Okay. So we all have Ohtani here. We're all reasonable, logical individuals. Shohei Ohtani, American League MVP, hands down. No questions about it. NL MVP. Are you on the right side of history, Dallas?
You've got Juan Soto.
I've got Juan Soto.
Is there no argument at all to be made for Bryce Harper?
No, there's an argument to be made. I don't think it's as cut and dry in the NL, but I think that if you just take 2 seconds to look at the fucking numbers, you're gonna come away with it being Juan Soto is the most valuable player in the National League.
What about what is it about Tatis that
he fell off?
I mean,
the injuries, didn't finish strong. I think it. Not that this would be the reason why I don't vote for Fernando Tatis Jr. But when that lasting image of getting chewed out by Manny Machado in the dugout, and the central message there was hey, we're trying to make the fucking playoffs here, and you're worried about your stats. That's not valuable.
You're not excited about that.
I'm not excited about that. And that's coming from a huge Fernando Tatis Jr. fan.
Sure.
I love him.
Sure. I can understand how that might look.
Not great. Doesn't look great. But, yeah, I mean, like, that's not the only reason, but it's definitely, it's almost like the central theme here. But, like, Juan Soto was a dude that was devastated when they started to dismantle the Washington Nationals. They had to kind of sit him down and explain to him, like, hey, like, this is, like, you're still a big piece of what we've got going on over here. We're not going to be able to contend right now, but in the future, that's what we're looking to do. Like, we'll get you back to the World Series, yada, yada. But statistically, is there a greater case to be made elsewhere?
I think there's a compelling case to be made for Bryce Harper, but I just think that, oh man, I don't know. It really, because I mean the power numbers are better for Bryce. I don't want to say, I mean, how many homers Bryce have? 35, right? 35 homers. Look that up. 35 homers, 40 fucking doubles.
Bryce Harper hit 35 homers, led the league with 42 doubles, led the league in slugging percentage, led the league in OPS and OPS plus. 5.9 wins above replacement.
I mean, come on.
It's a hell of a fucking year.
Now we're doing Carrabis. Now we're doing Carrabis math right now. We can find things that support a Bryce Harper case.
No doubt. I mean, put it this way. If Bryce Harper won the National League MVP award, am I going to sit here and say they got it wrong?
No.
No. I'm like, fucking awesome year.
So now let's ask this question. With both of these guys being on teams that were not in the postseason, how do we, or where do you draw the line, or how do you value what these individuals have done? Do we think about where each team finished? Is that something you care about? If you're one of these,
that's like a very, like, we have so many metrics now to be able to avoid the whole, like, well, did his team make the playoffs? Like,
right, which is, but I mean that has always been a thought that has permeated this award season, though.
And I think where that factors in is sort of like a tiebreaker. Like, there's so many statistics that you can look at where we can at least come to a determination of who had the better season. And if it really is that close, and we're talking about a dude that was on a first place team in a division race versus a dude that's in last place,
right?
I think, I'm not saying that the whole, like, did he make the playoffs or did he not make the playoffs means nothing. It definitely means something, because when you talk to guys who have won an MVP award for a last place team versus a dude that won an MVP award for the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Dodgers, like a team that's just in it first place, those at bats are harder because pitchers are bringing their A game against you. You're fighting for your postseason life in September. The pressure is turned up. Like, you're playing postseason games for 2 months instead of 1 month if you're going to run the table there.
Well,
so,
what about
yeah,
what about Soto though? What
about that?
So but now think about Soto. He essentially was the guy in the lineup that you can't let beat you, right?
Correct.
Is that fair to say?
100%.
So if we're looking at it from that perspective, the at-bats that Juan Soto was accumulating are at-bats where they're like, I really don't want to get hurt by you, and I'm not going to let you hurt us either. So whatever you can do with the shit I'm going to tickle the zone with, tip my cap. Whatever. That's why the guy walked damn near 150 times. Is because he's able to create this zone for himself to work in where if he goes outside of that, he's probably not going to have that much success. And not only is he not going to have that much success, but where is his team at in the ball game for him to be expanding his zone to try to do damage? To what? Bring the game within 4? No, I'm not saying that you don't want to try, but at what risk to expanding his zone or creating a dimension that he doesn't need to be working outside of. Why would he do that? He's not going to do that. The great hitters don't do that. That's what makes them great, is the one pitch they get a series, because that pitch has to be a strike, and it's unfortunate that it's with that dude at the plate. Juan Soto is probably pumping your ass out of the yard. And for him to be able to do that with really all the pressure of having nothing to select from is pretty impressive as well.
Definitely. So who are you leaning towards here?
Man, I think there's something to be said for the patience and the youth of Juan Soto and valuing the progression that we're seeing with Juan Soto. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like you vote for him now because you're getting this now. You're going to get it next year. Like, let's just we're buckling in for the ride for the long haul. Like, this could be a part of that 7-year peak. This could be, and you just I think you get tickled by that. It's tough because Bryce Harper, I don't want to say kind of came out of nowhere, because he was quietly balling all year long.
I know that, like,
I want to say Bryce Harper.
I do too.
I want to say Bryce Harper.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's more so like when we're making picks in a setting like this where it's like, okay, we're breaking down the MVP, this and that. I'm giving you the pick that I think is going to win. I'm not necessarily giving you the pick that I would have voted for.
Well, you got to clarify that. See, that's look.
I think Shohei is going to win, and I would have voted for Shohei.
Okay. Well, I thought you were
Relax. Jesus Christ, dude.
Fucking God.
You think like the stoners are supposed to be like the relaxed people of society? Dallas is anything but that. He is the polar opposite of the stereotype. Dude is ready to throw hands from across the country because I paused for a half a second before I said I would also vote for Shohei Ohtani. I would. I think he's going to win. I would vote for him. National League. I think Juan Soto is going to win. I would be tempted to and potentially would vote for Bryce Harper.
I mean, it's just oh my God, man. It's because if we're talking about the domination factor on the mound, what would you translate that to in the box? Power?
Power. I mean, I think.
What about a power speed combination?
Where Soto has the clear edge is, I think, like defensively and like what's the difference in games played? Just 10. Soto played 10 more games. Yeah, I think there's something to be said for that. But I mean,
yeah, Soto played 10. That's the thing. Soto played 10 more games, and Harper has 6 more homers and 22 more doubles.
Like, defensive metrics don't love either of them.
No, Well, I mean,
so if you can kind of like,
because I mean, Bryce isn't necessarily a gazelle out there, okay?
but he makes it look good.
Well, I mean,
he plays so fucking hard that
Well,
he makes plays look extremely difficult, even if they might not be extremely difficult. They might be difficult.
Well, and you have to factor in the follicle factor. The follicle factor is huge. Like the minute that fucking head starts to the minute that hat leaves, buddy, it's just slow-mo pure sex. So you gotta equate all of that into Bryce Harper.
Oh man,
gun to your head.
Man, it is fucking. Because here's where I'm at on this, Dallas.
I
call it 6 years ago is when I vowed that I would not do what the voters have done with this award, and that is turn it into the wins above replacement award.
So get away from it. Get away from it.
Which is why I'm not saying throw WAR out. I'm not saying don't look at it. I'm not saying it doesn't count for anything. Of course it does. But it almost feels like whoever just leads the league in WAR wins the MVP.
I don't like that.
And I don't like that. I don't like that either. And when you're looking at some of these offensive numbers for Bryce Harper, I feel like there's a lot more damage. And when you're looking at Juan Soto, the walks, he leads the league in walks, and he leads the league in on-base percentage.
Opportunity.
Intentional walks. And with Bryce, I mean, like, I'm not going to hold it against Juan Soto that the guys were afraid to pitch to him.
No.
But with Bryce Harper, it's like, all right, we're going to challenge this guy. And when they did, they got fucked up.
Yeah.
Worse than anybody.
They took advantage.
42 doubles, leads the league. 35 homers, hit over 300, which I still care about batting average.
Yes.
In the context of everything else. Yes, give me batting average, but also give me on base, give me slugging, give me OPS plus, give me weighted runs created plus, give me all of it. But I still want to see what the guy hit batting average wise.
Because now it kind of tells you how valuable those hits were, right?
Correct. Because
this
he
is the
hit for
damage done,
average
but look
with
at how often
damage.
it happened. It frequently happened.
Yes.
Like that's
the on base, even though Juan Soto, because we're talking about like the walks and we're talking about guys pitching around him, a 465 on base for Juan Soto. But you come back to Bryce Harper,
430, 429.
429. That's still really, really fucking good. That's really good for an on-base percentage at the major league level. Like elite. The elite of the elite on base. So he was getting his walks. He walked 100 times. 100 times. And he still hit over 300, got on base at a 429 clip, led the league in slugging and OPS plus. So it didn't matter. Like, you can't even hold the ballpark against him. You can't say that he didn't do damage. He did the most damage, and he hit for average, and he took his walks. So that shows the patience. A dude that's able to select and identify a pitch that he can do damage with, and then he does at a higher rate than anybody else. But he's also not an ego guy up there where it's like, hey, game's on the line. I'm trying to hit a homer here. Or if you don't give me something to hit, I'll take my walk. Fine. Or if you need a base hit, I can get you a base hit too. I think that has a ton of value. And again, we're focusing on offense here because I think when we look at the defensive metrics, both of them are below average. So I'm not going to argue who's more below average than the other. I'm just going to call the defense a wash. And then when we talk about players like Juan Soto, like Bryce Harper, you're going to talk about the offense. And when you look at those numbers, Dallas,
hey, I'm the one.
I find it hard to, at the end of the day, not give my vote to Bryce Harper.
Mm-hmm.
I find it hard when you look at all of it. If you want to join me in my quest to not make the MVP award the wins above replacement award, if you want to look at all of it, you want to weigh things differently. Like, that's the other thing too, is that you're not going to be like, all right, well, he leads in this, so that's 1 point, but he leads in this, so that's 1 point. Things are weighted differently, for sure. Like, certain statistics, when you lead in that category, mean more than others. No doubt. No doubt. But the categories that Bryce Harper is leading in, they carry a lot of weight, Dallas.
They matter. I'm glad. You know what? You're welcome, because I feel like before we started this conversation, you were just kind of going.
I was leaning
on Soto.
I was.
I brought you to the light.
Mm-hmm.
You are here.
I am delivered.
Sometimes you just have to Exercise the demons, Jared. And you are bathed in the blood of Bryce Harper. Welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I've got Bryce Harper here. I said it out loud.
Are we both Bryce Harper?
Yeah, I'm Bryce Harper. Look, my to your point about wanting one guy to win it, believing somebody will win it, I understand that. I was the same way with the World Series. Wanted the Atlanta Braves to win the World Series. I believed the Houston Astros were poised to do so. Those are two very different things, and I'm so glad I look like an asshole. So glad to have that egg on my face. No problem. So, yeah, that's kind of why I brought up the whole Juan Soto. Are we watching him become the darling of Major League Baseball in regards to the next youthful superstar that is trending and continuing to trend in that positive direction? And it's weird that we're having that conversation with a guy named Bryce Harper in that same conversation, because this was the second coming of baseball. Bryce Harper was the 15-year-old with shin guards on the cover of Sports Illustrated, Baseball America. Like, this was the guy. And for whatever reason, he gets thrown into the conversation and compared to Mike Trout, and I think that conversation had settled itself, but then Bryce Harper just kind of is like, oh, what, I'm fucking nobody now? Like, what, now I'm no good because I'm not your boy Mike Trout? I'm just not – well, no, you're wrong. Oh, you're wrong. So I got Bryce Harper locked in as my National League MVP.
Just check the Vegas odds, and I don't know if it's not super surprising, but I wouldn't have thought this. Bryce Harper and Juan Soto have the same odds to win the MVP.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now, I genuinely believe it's because of the difference in those two numbers, maybe three, the OBP, the slugging, and the walks. I don't know. I just don't see that. Like, I have no other idea what. I don't know. That's where, like, Bryce Harper, like, the power. That's why I asked about the power speed combination. Does that do anything for you?
It does. I'm sure that there's going to be fans that are upset.
13 stolen bags for Bryce Harper. Only caught 3 times. Juan Soto stole 9 bags, was caught 7 times.
I feel like, do you think that there's going to be blowback or no?
No, because no, but I feel like, I mean, fuck, man. The more I look into this, the more I start convincing myself that it's like, it should be just, why are we talking about it? It should be Bryce Harper. But I know it's not that obvious. But it makes me feel like it's kind of that obvious, but it's not that obvious.
It's not that obvious. There's a reason why, and I think that that's kind of why we'll be safe in the court of public opinion.
But, like, straight up, the power numbers from Bryce Harper had me double take a little bit, comparing them to. So I was like, whoa, okay, yeah, that's a little bit of a gap there in the slug, and that is, I mean, the 22 more doubles. Juan Soto had a few more opportunities, not a ton more, a few more. I mean, that's nothing to just you can't just overlook that. We're not just blowing by that. That's a big deal. It's
locked in.
All right.
Bryce Harper, Shohei Ohtani. Those are your MVPs. The American League Cy Young Award, Dallas.
Yeah.
Where you at on that?
Well, remember, out of the gate, I had mass equals gas dialing up a career year and landing himself the Cy Young Award.
Yeah, you're obviously not going to stick with that pick.
I had Lance Lynn do. I mean,
you're not.
I'm probably not sticking with that pick. No.
No.
I think I'm going to stick with the pick that I gave to the good folks up in Toronto.
Hmm.
And I think I'm probably going to stick with the pick that I gave to the good folks in the DMs a long time ago. The gambling chat in the DMs. I think it's Robbie Ray.
You do, huh?
I want it to be Robbie Ray.
It is Robbie Ray. It's Robbie Ray. Just say it.
Why isn't it Garrett Cole? Is what we have to answer.
Okay. Here's why it's not.
That's what we have to answer.
Reason number 1, Garrett Cole cheated. He told you that he cheated.
I can't. I got to stop you there.
Mm-hmm.
I got to stop you there.
Well, he did.
That's fine. But under the guise of probably the majority of guys using something like
Robbie Ray didn't.
Well, I'm just saying. On what level? Like I don't know.
If we all killed someone, can we just say like, well, everyone was killing people. You're going to arrest me for that? Everyone was doing it.
Was this the purge? Is this what have we got going on?
I mean, Garrett Cole cheated. That's reason number 1.
Okay.
Reason number 2, I think the injury at the end hurt him.
Okay.
Reason number 3, I think that the glaring decline after he wasn't allowed to cheat anymore would give me pause. Robbie Ray made 2 more starts, which is not a huge difference. I mean, like Garrett Cole goes out there and makes 30 starts. That's great. Robbie Ray has a sub 3. Garrett Cole does not. Wins above replacement. It's not the end-all, be-all, but Robbie Ray, a full win better than Garrett Cole, 6.7 compared to 5.6. The whip is a wash, 106 for Cole, 104 for Ray, even though you want to give the edge to Ray there. More strikeouts, Ray by 5, so I guess you can call that a wash, but again, Ray still has more. Hits allowed, Garrett Cole allowed 1 more hit,
What
so
about
even
the
that's
FIP?
a wash.
FIP doesn't do anything for you?
No, FIP does.
Because Garrett Cole's sporting a sub 3 FIP.
What's Ray?
Robbie Ray, 3.69 FIP.
Yeah. So I think like FIP does more for me during the season than it does after. Because if you're gonna use FIP as some like a forecasting tool to be like, well, his ERA is like 4.3, but his FIP is a 2.5. So he's been way better than what the numbers would show you. It's like, all right, so then it's probably gonna turn around at some point. But after the season's over, your ERA is what your ERA is.
No,
And Robbie Ray's is better.
I think.
I mean, neither of them did themselves any favors at the end there.
No, down the stretch. No, they had opportunities, and that's why I said, like, I even went into detail on the outings that Robbie Ray had laid out ahead of him, and obviously you're not in a position to be manipulating the rotation so a guy can land some, so a guy has soft landings in his individual effort to win a Cy Young when you're chasing down a playoff spot. That's not how that's going to go. So you pitch who you got to pitch against. But I felt even then it was an opportunity for Robbie Ray to sort of cement himself with Garrett Cole, having some lingering issues, having the injury. That was a great shot for Robbie Ray to what I still believe he did, which is pitch well enough for people to say this is going to be your Cy Young winner. But you look at some of the like walks per 9, Garrett Cole 2, Robbie Ray 2.4, Ks per 9, 12.1 for Garrett Cole, 11.5 for Robbie Ray. Strikeout to walk, almost 6 for Garrett Cole at 5.93, 4.77 for Robbie Ray. So those are, again, just some of the, domination numbers that are going to be considered. So you might look at the starts and think Robbie Ray got ran out there a couple more times, was able to make him. That should bode well for him. Okay, great. But if this is an individual pitching performance award, how did this individual pitcher dominate his competition, and to what degree? And that's where I think Garrett Cole, his name, might be on the lips of a few more voters than I'd like.
Yeah, I can't condone cheating. I can't condone disrespecting our great game, trying to get an unfair advantage in head-to-head competition. I think it's despicable. I think it's a disgrace that this individual was allowed to use substances in which he turned that performance into $500 million, a fraudulent contract, which I can't wait to see blow up as he continues to age and break down physically.
Jeez.
And I hope he never wins a Cy Young. I hope he never even makes it back to the World Series. I can't stand by and be silent while someone like Garrett Cole just cheats his way to fame and recognition. So,
and Jared and I are going to go live a little later on Instagram, where he's going to share some of his more close to the vest and sincere thoughts about Garrett Cole. So, if you guys are listening to this now, stay tuned for that. My God. Hey, I get it. But I can't abandon the good folks up north, our neighbors to the north. I'm riding with Robbie Ray. Who knows, Jared? Maybe some of those folks who don't like the steroid era, and they have votes. Maybe
what
some
the hell
of those,
is wrong with steroids?
Maybe. Well, let's think about our boy. Our guy is in his last year of the ballot, and what I'm getting at is how many. What's the Venn diagram look like for voters who don't vote for guys in the steroid era, who would also consider the spider tack era, the sticky stuff era, something to hold to the same standard? Because if that's the case, then this conversation about Garrett Cole being a Cy Young candidate might not be as big of a conversation as you think it is, if that Venn diagram is bigger than we believe it to be.
Where I don't like see eye to eye with you, where I don't level with you, Dallas, is this idea that steroids are bad. I think.
Hold on. Time out. I got to stop you right there. Where have I told you that steroids were bad?
Well, this idea, you're trying to equate steroid use to spider tack. When
No.
Spider tack,
I am
very
not.
clearly cheating.
I am not.
Okay.
I asked you.
Okay.
I asked you what the Venn diagram looks like.
Okay.
Of
I'm
people
just saying,
who
well, I'm just saying you were putting them. You're trying to say like, oh well, if you think that spider tack's cheating, you must also think that steroids are cheating, and I don't see anything wrong with steroid use.
Well, what you believe and what are law and what are truths, those are different. Those, I mean, they can always be different. You don't like them to be different because you like to live in some scope of reality, like to some degree. So yeah, if you're talking about how the human body performs when steroids are administered properly and on schedule, that's one conversation.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk about their legality within the sport of baseball, that's another conversation. Same conversation can be had for spider tack. Don't know that there's any health benefit outside of being a strongman trying to lift Atlas stones. But there's definitely a performance benefit. But there's no real like health regimen for spider tack.
I feel like it can be detrimental.
Like it's not areas. If do they got, I don't know, they got vegan spider tack? They got
I bet they do. They got vegan everything.
holistic spider tack,
Hmm.
like organic spider tack.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's why I say, what's the Venn diagram look like of guys who are looking at steroid or alleged steroid users and looking at alleged or confirmed spider tack users as the same type of cheat and saying, nope, that guy's not even on my radar. So default goes to the next best option, which would here be Robbie Ray.
Sure. Do I think that there are baseball writers who will vote for Garrett Cole for Cy Young but will gatekeep the Hall of Fame for guys accused of steroid use? I do.
How can that be? How can that be?
People
That
are really fucking dumb, Dallas.
How can that be though? Like, and that's where, like, if you're watching that unfold, if you're watching that happen, like, how can you allow people like that to continue to impact the game and the history and the, like, fuck. We just can't get out of our own way as a sport. It just can't. It can't be done.
It can't be done.
Good God.
Just announcing the Gold Glove Awards during
During the Sunday night football slate, like, why not? Why not?
Sure, fuck it.
But it's great. That's why I said that quote. Rob Manfred will never be able to hide.
It's not a global game.
That Rob Manfred will never, ever, ever be able to hide from that quote. Ever. Ever. Not as long as my heart beats will he ever be able to live from that.
Do you think wasn't he sitting next to Shohei Ohtani when he said that it's not a global game?
Mm-hmm. Why we're not here to grow this game nationally. We don't market our game nationally. Okay. Like you're saying that as you're sitting next to an international superstar who has single-handedly done more for the game of baseball than you ever will. Ever. Ever.
Do you think that Rob Manfred's in it for the long haul? Do you think that at some point we'll see a new commissioner within the next 6 years? 5 years?
I mean, dude, I would like to, like, here's the thing. The only way that I see longevity being a thing for him is if this CBA runs a little smoother than I think some expect it to. And while I understand there's going to be turbulence, and I understand there could be a push, it very well could run a little smoother than people expect it to. But I don't. If he's saying these things, what fans are coming to terms with, Jared, is stuff that I know, I guess. And you're hearing him tell you everything I've been claiming about him and everything a lot of other people have been claiming about him. But he's saying it out loud. And it's okay that he's saying it out loud because nothing's changing. He's not going anywhere. So if you are, objectively looking at this, no. Where's he going? He is the perfect fit to represent the people he represents. He is the perfect fit. He has zero skin in the game. He could give a damn about the game. Like, who do we want representing us? Do you want anybody that cares about the game, or you want people that care about the bottom line? Give me the guys and girls who care about the bottom line.
Can't wait for Theo Epstein. It's gonna be a great era in baseball history when Theo Epstein takes over for Rob Manfred. American League Cy Young, Robbie Ray, yes?
Yes.
Okay. National League Cy Young Award winner. I feel like, man. It's a little more tough.
Is it Zach Wheeler?
No.
It's not Zach Wheeler.
No.
Wow. I think it might be Zach Wheeler.
I don't think it's Zach Wheeler. He's the favorite, right?
I would think so.
213 and a third innings. 10.4 strikeouts per 9. 7.6 WAR. A 1.01 WHIP. 2.78 ERA. 247 strikeouts in 213 and a third innings. He threw the most innings, yeah? Yep.
Yeah.
Most innings.
Yeah, the only 200 inning guy in the conversation.
Oh, in the conversation. Corbin Burns led in K9. I mean, Max Scherzer, I think it's just like the innings gap is so crazy.
Yeah, and it's only with 2 more starts between him and Scherzer.
Yeah, I mean, Scherzer, 179 and a third, 236 strikeouts. So the strikeouts per 9 is 11.8. The whip is 0.86.
Mm-hmm.
I have to imagine that he limited traffic better than any other starter with that many innings.
Yes,
he did.
Probably.
He led the majors in whip.
But the Ks per 9,
Yep.
Scherzer's almost at 12, right? 11.8. Zach Wheeler,
11.8.
10.4. Walks per 9, a wash. 1.8 for Scherzer, 1.9 for Wheeler. Strikeout to walk, 6.5 for Scherzer, 6.56. For Wheeler, 5.37.
Like, Scherzer's got him in ERA. He's got him in K9. He's got him in whip.
He's, Zach Wheeler had a better
the
FIP.
innings, there's such a huge discrepancy in innings.
2.59 FIP.
If they were, I feel like there would be so much less of a debate here if they were within like 20 innings. But
And this is where you have to start to ask, like, how are you going to value, like, does that matter? Does the innings matter? And I would argue that the way that the bullpens are deployed in the game of baseball today, that if you have a starting pitcher and you're talking about awards between him and other starting pitchers, well, the body of work appears to be as important as it's ever been now. Appears to be as valuable as it's ever been now. If each and every day we're worried about covering a minimum of 9 outs with our bullpen, and you have a guy that essentially takes that down to 6 outs for you in a game and in an era where it's 9 outs or more from your bullpen, that guy's super valuable, is he not?
yeah, I mean, I don't even think I would have noticed it. I wouldn't even have thought to look until you pointed it out, the number of starts being just 2. Like, it's 32 compared to 30, but the innings difference is what, like fucking 35 innings or something like that?
Yeah, 179. Yeah, so 189, 199, 209, yeah, over 30 innings.
That's insane. But, I mean, he took the ball 30 times. Zach Wheeler took the ball 32 times.
Well, and let's also talk about Max Scherzer and what he was doing. Like the fact that he, in a trade, comes over and does what he does in the situation that he's doing it in. Like, that's where you can get romantic about shit like this, right? That's where you can start to put a little emphasis on the specific and individual performance now. Because you talk about Max Scherzer and his time as a Los Angeles Dodger, you're talking about utter domination. 1.98 ERA, 1.96 FIP, 89 punch-outs to 8 walks over 68 and a third innings. Allowed hitters to hit all of 189, Jared. They had an OPS of 515 against Max Scherzer in his time in a Dodger uniform. You want to know how well the team did? They won every fucking game he pitched.
Yeah.
That's how well he did. 7-0 as a Dodger. The team was 11-0 in his 11 starts he made as a Dodger.
And I know that it's not MVP. Like there's a difference between like Cy Young Award is just who's the best pitcher. But when you're trying to figure out who the best pitcher is, I think that part of the story is they didn't have Trevor Bauer. They lost Clayton Kershaw.
So
they lost Dustin May. So they had to go out and get a Max Scherzer to do exactly what he did. They went out and made a monster trade for Max Scherzer and Trey Turner, and what the Dodgers needed in their pursuit of the San Francisco Giants was for Max Scherzer to go out there, take the ball every fifth day, and essentially be perfect.
Yes.
And he was.
Short of a Sabathian effort in Milwaukee in
to
08.
Go every 3 days.
Short of that, this is exactly what needed to be done. We've talked about the month-and-a-half run, the 42-game, 44-game stretch, whatever it was, for the Dodgers and the Giants, just counterpunch. Over that 40-plus game stretch, one game was gained in the standings for the Dodgers. One single game. And if Max Scherzer isn't out there pitching his nuts off, that looks very different. That looks very, 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 very different.
So are you joining me?
In your Max Scherzer trade or in your Max Scherzer selection?
Yeah. Yes, I acknowledge that the gap in innings between Wheeler and Scherzer is much bigger than I would like to
It's
make
girthy.
the pick not be Wheeler.
Because
it's not like Wheeler is some sort of compiler where he threw 213 innings and it's like the numbers, it's like, yeah, like that's great that he took the ball that many times and he went deep in almost every single start, if not every start, with like okay numbers. Like the numbers are great. It's just that Max Scherzer's numbers are greater. They just are. And I think once you cross, you're going to look at the innings discrepancy, but once you cross the finish line of 30 starts in a major league season, I don't know that I can really weigh the innings pitched that heavily to be some sort of deciding factor.
Stop it. I appreciate what you're doing, but that's why it does matter about getting deep into a ball game.
Sure, but I mean,
that'll never get
if
they've taken away the
30
win.
starts.
I get it. It's 30 starts. It's not 32, and it's not 213 innings. That's what it's not.
But I
And
can't.
I've watched the win get killed off
because they made 2 more starts. I can't.
It's not about so take away the win, or excuse me, take away the starts, and that's where you go to the innings pitched, and that's why it still matters. That's why it's still.
I'm not saying it doesn't matter.
That's why before you go to bed, Jared, it will still be in your brain. You'll still think about that. You're still going to say to yourself, fuck,
yeah, I don't think if I voted for Max Scherzer, I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is a slam dunk pick. Anyone who doesn't vote for Max Scherzer, what the fuck's your problem? Did you not see the numbers? I value the quality of the innings over the quantity of the innings. I do. And I think that that's fair, especially when there is no. When we were talking about Robbie Ray versus Garrett Cole, yeah, Robbie Ray checked more boxes than Garrett Cole, but the gaps were not sizable. But when you're talking about the whip, the K9,
but this is where we're in that fine line, like that gray area between that amount of production, though, and if it's just like that's a pubic hairs worth of difference in maybe the quality of innings when you're thinking about the amount of innings. It's not like the other numbers are so different that the innings don't matter. The innings matter. And I think they're going to matter to the voters. And this is where, on the pitching side of things, right, the argument that's had for the MVP can't be had for the Cy Young. It is about individual performance. But can you now factor in what that individual performance did for this individual's team?
So who are you voting for? I said who I'm voting for.
Oh. It's so tough not to vote Wheeler here. God. Because I want the Riders to be in love with what Max Scherzer did, with everything I just laid out as a Dodger. I want that to matter.
Pick him. I know you're not going to pick him. Go ahead and make your safe Wheeler pick. Go ahead and lay in that safe hammock with Zach Wheeler while I go out on a limb with Mad Max.
I don't think you're out on a limb with Max Scherzer. Calm the fuck down there.
I think looking at the Vegas odds, he is the third favorite.
Max Scherzer is?
Mm-hmm. He has the third best odds to win the National League Cy Young Award.
I'm sorry, man. I got to do it. I got to go Zach Wheeler.
How about some love for Corbin Burns, though?
Yes, he deserves some love.
Yeah, I don't want to have this be a
who was that guy?
A Scherzer versus Wheeler discussion without mentioning Corbin Burns. 28 starts, 2.43 ERA, 167 innings. I think that's why, he's got the fewest innings of the three.
But the FIP, 1.63.
1.63 FIP, 0.94 WHIP.
And he's got the best strikeout to walk rate out of the three. He's got the highest strikeout per nine rate out of the three.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the walks per nine, 1.8 for him, 1.8 for Scherzer, 1.9 for Zach Wheeler. I mean, let's be real. Corbin Burns, if the quality of innings matter, Jared, tell me why Corbin Burns isn't your selection. If the quality of innings matter and the quantity doesn't, tell me why Corbin Burns isn't your selection. Because at just a glance, it might feel like Corbin Burns tickles you a little more.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the strikeouts per nine. But I know it doesn't make sense. Like I'm talking about if Zach
the least
Wheeler
amount of homers. He only yielded 7 homers.
Yeah.
7 homers for
Yeah.
Corbin Burns.
But Zach Wheeler having 213 innings, and now you're struggling to make a case for Max Scherzer because he's at 179 innings. It's going to be even harder to make a case for Corbin Burns at 167 innings when you've got a guy that threw 213 innings. Like, if Corbin Burns won the Cy Young Award, it would probably far and away be the fewest innings ever pitched by a starter to win a Cy Young Award. Like, I think who had the fewest? Blake Snell, and it was like 100. It was right around where Scherzer
Like
ended up.
180 or something. Yeah.
Let me
I don't know.
see. Blake Snell, when he won the Cy Young Award, 180 and 2/3.
Yeah. Well, that is a compelling conversation. I'm rolling with Wheeler, and you're rolling with Scherzer.
I am.
The romantic in me would love to see Scherzer get the nod just for that effort, and just because, you straight up they handpicked you. Like, all right, dude, like you got to save us.
Yeah.
Like, we're supposed to be great, and we need you to be great so we can be great. Are you in? Yeah, I'll come and do absolutely everything I can. American League Rookie of the Year. Your body is
I just double checked. Blake Snell's 180 and 2/3 innings are the fewest for a Cy Young Award winning pitcher in what would be considered a normal season, which means that if Max Scherzer did win the Cy Young, that would set the new record for fewest innings.
Yeah.
Which is why I think people are just defaulting to Zach Wheeler. You're betting against there being a new record.
It's no. It's not a default. What it is it's them saying, you've killed the win, and in your effort to kill the win, you've actually increased the value of it. That's my argument. That's a take right there, Jared. In the effort to kill the win for the starting pitcher, they've actually increased the value of the win. Well, how, Dallas? That doesn't make any sense. No, because if you're listening to your boy Jared talk here right now, he continues to go back to the innings pitched. You want to know what allows a decision to be taken by a pitcher? Is hanging around long enough to take that decision, which means you can get your ass kicked in the third and be out of there. Oh, you're taking that L. Believe that. But let's say you get your ass kicked in the third and you hang around until the seventh. Maybe you even pitch into the eighth, having given up 4 runs, but your team comes back and scores 5. You know what you're walking away with? A W. You want to know what your team's walking away with? A little less stress on the bullpen because you did get deeper into that ball game. So all in an effort to devalue the W and devalue the strength of the starting pitcher, you've actually increased it. You just don't even fucking know it yet.
I appreciate the rant. Okay. On to the American League Rookie of the Year award. And the Rays have an embarrassment of riches. You've got Luis Garcia, who shined in October a little bit. I mean, he had his moments. He had great. The highs were high and the lows were low with Luis Garcia in the postseason. But Randy Arozarena, who feels like he's been in the big leagues for the last 6 years, was actually a rookie this year. I think he's already got 30 times the amount of postseason plate appearances as Mike Trout, but he's a rookie. And then Wander Franco. I think it's your boy.
Arozarena?
I think it's your boy, yeah, I do.
Arozarena! Wander's special.
Wander is special.
Wander is special.
I think if Wander makes the opening day roster, we're having a different conversation.
I think we are too. And I think that is a fair assessment. Wander's playing a primo spot. Primo.
Yeah.
He's playing shortstop. And he's how old? 20?
17.
Right? Like 13 with a fake ID? Wander can't even ride the fucking teacups at Disneyland.
Mm-mm.
And he's playing shortstop in the big leagues. That matters. But yeah, I think it's Randy.
Yeah. So that's going to go to Randy Arozarena.
Full season's worth of impact.
The National League Rookie of the Year, which I've been calling since like fucking June. Your National League Rookie of the Year, Dallas,
is Jonathan India.
Jonathan India of the Cincinnati Reds. Trevor Rogers, I think, again,
Yes.
if that guy doesn't get hurt, we're having a completely different conversation. Because when I started the Jonathan India for National League Rookie of the Year campaign over the summer, I think at the time, Trevor Rogers was the correct pick. And it wasn't a situation where you could negate what he did just because he was out, because he was hurt. What he did in the first half still counts. India still had a lot to prove in the second half, and then he did. And he finished strong, so there you go. Jonathan India will be unequivocally your National League Rookie of the Year.
But let's not sneeze at what Trevor Rogers did.
No.
We're talking about an all-star campaign, 2.64 ERA, made 25 starts, logged 133 innings, 2.55 FIP, over 10.5 punch-outs per 9. Go get him, Lesty. Just not a Jonathan India type performance. That's all. That's all he's guilty of, is not being Jonathan India.
Was he a 7th overall?
Who? Trevor Rogers?
No. Jonathan India was first round 5th overall in the 2018 MLB draft.
All right, Jared. This is an award that I think you have some feelings on, which I'm going to be interested to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? regardless of relationships, Jared, I'm going to have to say some things that otherwise wouldn't be said, and that's just about integrity of the podcast. But American League Manager of the Year. I'm not happy that my guy, T-Law, just no love for Tony La Russa.
That is crazy.
No love for Pappy Russa. What's going on? How do we not give a guy like Tony La Russa even a small moment of consideration?
I mean, he
for this
did
award?
destroy a young player's career.
I don't believe he destroyed anybody's career. I mean, Yermin's outliving his best life.
Is he?
He's doing what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing it. Dusty Baker, more than worthy candidate.
So you're gonna shift it over to Dusty from one old bag of balls to the other.
Honestly, that was the sole reason why I had ridden the Astros train. Is because I'm on the record as saying that acquiring Dusty Baker was the best move they had ever made after this whole scandal. It was the best move they could have made.
I agree. I'm with you.
And just because of my personal relationship with Dusty, I pull for the dude. I want him to win. I want him to experience success. I mean, he managed my hometown team growing up, my favorite team, and now, we were just a few outs away from a fucking World Series, and that didn't happen.
No.
And so I'd like to see that happen. But that didn't happen again. So you know what? Let's throw another MOY on there for him. But Dusty Baker, Kevin Cash,
Would
Scott
this be his third?
Service. I believe it would be his third.
I think he's got one in.
Bowmel.
Does he have one in Bolsley and Dusty Baker?
Oh, I thought
They were like several years apart. Dusty Baker, Manager of the Year. 3-time Manager of the Year. 93, which would have been with the Giants.
93 with the Giants.
97 also would have been with the Giants, and 2000 would have been with the Giants. So this is his first since
nomination outside of the Cubs. Or outside of the
since before 9/11.
Was he nominated with the Cubs?
I don't know that.
Doesn't matter. But who you got taking this? Is Scott Service a quiet backdoor candidate here?
Yeah, I don't think, and here's the other thing too, that there was some confusion. These are voted upon before the first pitch of the postseason. So the Astros getting to the World Series again does not matter. It's strictly based on the regular season. And do I believe that you have to make the postseason to win this award? No. No, I don't. But
can I say this? I believe that out of these three individuals here, if I'm being totally honest, the individual that had to manage more or the most, Scott Service.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. As far as the analytics are concerned, there's a lot of help for Dusty Baker, and there's a lot of help for Kevin Cash. And I'm not saying that Scott Service doesn't have that same help, but that's a culture that's been in a shift, in a transition, and Scott Service has been a part of that. But that foundation has been laid in Tampa. That foundation had been laid in Houston, and these are experienced individuals, and Kevin Cash and Dusty Baker coming into those situations with the help that they're getting from those established foundational front offices. Scott Service going through a little bit of a transition, not only with the roster, he's got a little more work on his plate, I think, to be done. And I'm not taking anything away from those other two, in Dusty and Kevin Cash, because Kevin Cash has a treasure trove of arms and bench players that he has to be able to deploy in the right spots day in and day out. And I can respect that. I don't know that his resources are less than what Scott Service had to plug and play with day in and day out. So for the Mariners to go on the run that they went on,
which was magical, by the way. I don't want the fact that the Mariners
we don't have to
didn't
really
make
get into it. It doesn't. It's not even that big of a deal.
I don't want the fact that the Mariners did not make the postseason.
We're talking about a team that didn't make the fucking playoffs. Give this shit.
I don't want that to be the reason why people forget what Seattle did this year.
Win a fucking ball game one time, Oakland.
Yeah, the what was it?
We don't have to talk about it, Jared. We're
Was
talking about a team that didn't make the postseason.
But they almost did because they beat the A's so many fucking times. What were they like? Was it 15-4?
Wasn't good.
Was it 15-4 or 16-3?
Wasn't good. Wasn't 16-3. Tell you that.
So it's 15-4.
We have to talk about it.
Imagine playing a team 19 times and losing 15 of those fucking games.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make the case that the Oakland A's almost single-handedly put the Seattle Mariners in the postseason, who haven't been there in 2 decades.
Case on a different podcast that we're not talking about that on right now. So
what a run it was!
Just move right.
What a
on
run
into
it was
why
to watch the Mariners,
Scott
our
Service
Mariners,
is
America's
nobody
team.
else's, nobody's team. Just there's
knock
like the
on the
Pacific
door of
Northwest.
destiny.
It's their Mariners. That's it.
In September and August, the whole Kendall Graveman thing,
Yeah,
it was
you go
gut-wrenching, and then it turned into a rally cry.
You are a semen guzzler. That's exactly what you are.
I love that team, America's team. I feel like a lot of the grounds crew does too. And you know what? I feel the same way about the Mariners that I felt about the Braves last year. This one ain't over. This one ain't over.
I'm giving Scott Service the American League Manager.
You know what? I'm going to join you.
There you are.
I'm going to join you.
That's a Puget Sound decision, Jared. Hey-o! That's a P&W joke. You don't get that. It's okay. National League.
Wait. We're not done. We're not done giving the Mariners their due here.
No, we're done. We're all the way done. The
because
Mariners
when you pick a guy to win Manager of the Year, the whole story is about what were the expectations and then what were the results. The Astros, they were expected to be good. The Rays, they were expected to be good. The Mariners have a tendency to start off strong. Sometimes they don't even do that. But sometimes they do start off pretty strong. And Mariner fans will be the first to tell you, don't believe the hype. Don't believe in this team. We do this every year. We start off great, and then we disappoint you over the summer, and then we're playing irrelevant games by September. Wash, rinse, repeat. And then in 2021, the Mariners not only gave Seattle something to believe in, they gave America something to believe in, Dallas.
No, I don't.
They gave an entire country a reason to tune in.
Jesus.
East Coast, 10 p.m., Central, 9 p.m. Out on the West Coast, they're tuning in to watch their Mariners, our Mariners.
Oh, you forgot all about the mountain folk, did you?
They're watching the mountains, too. How could you not? How could you not?
Well,
Some of the most entertaining moments.
Are you done?
Some of
Are
the
you
most
fucking
entertaining moments of the 2021 Major League Baseball season, Dallas. And I know that
came
hey,
early on
Dallas,
to the credit to the Bellevue Rotary Club.
Can I just
Shout
say,
out Bellevue Rotary Club.
Can I just say this, Dallas? Because you're a Major League broadcaster. You got a headset on, and you're focused on the Oakland A's. And unless the Mariners were whooping that green and gold ass, which they did 15 out of 19 times, you're not able to sit down and really watch a Mariners game.
Well, no, that's exactly what's happening when I'm broadcasting the game. Is I'm really watching that game.
Yeah. So you're locked in. You're
I
locked
watched
in on
19 of them very, very, very closely.
No doubt. No doubt. You're locked in on the Oakland A's. But me, I love West Coast baseball because it's almost like I feel like I'm off the clock. I know I'm not, but I'm not as I mean, when I'm watching the Red Sox on the East Coast, I've got to watch every play. I got to tweet about every play, yada, 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 yada. But after the Red Sox are over, I kind of feel like it's like, all right, you put in a long day, and West Coast baseball is like bonus time. You can choose. The Red Sox game's over. You have to watch the Red Sox game. But now you can sort of choose from this poo-poo platter of West Coast baseball. What game do you want to tune in to watch? And you know what team I found myself watching a lot of? especially in the second half?
The Oakland A's.
Our Seattle Mariners, Dallas.
Nobody's Mariners. Just
America's team.
You
And I cannot wait to see how they
42
build
oyster farmers
off the success of 2021 to hopefully keep this thing going.
Well, speaking of building off success, the San Francisco Giants, who just had Farhan Zaidi named the Executive of the Year,
I saw that.
also have manager Gabe Kapler as one of the 3 nominees,
Coconut
one
oil.
of the 3 finalists for Manager of the Year. Craig Counsell for the Milwaukee Brewers, Gabe Kapler, and Mr. Schilt of the St. Louis Cardinals.
I don't really feel like this is a discussion.
No, I think it's fairly easy to give Manager of the Year to Gabe Kapler.
Yeah.
When your team is expected to win 78 games, when your team's not even expected to win 80 baseball games,
No.
and you set the franchise record for baseball games won in a single season, that's got a lot to do with the guys who are drawing the lineup up each and every day and watching the individuals and making those decisions. So I'll even go as far as to say, as you might even hear Gabe Kapler, which I think he would, I think most guys would, talk about the staff that he has and the impact that they make and the help that they provide. Because when you utilize your bench the way Gabe Kapler did, day in, day out, to the extent that he did, I mean, everybody that puts a uniform on for the San Francisco Giants is playing baseball that day in some way. And that's how you get to a 106-win season. That right there has a lot to do with the folks who have their hands on those players day in and day out. So his staff, I think, has a lot to do with the success that they had. But as a manager, especially in Kapler's situation where you're dealing with an executive who just won Executive of the Year. And that has to do with making moves and taking flyers on certain guys, but being able to have those conversations with your manager and figuring out how we're going to be able to deploy these guys, how we're going to be able to make these puzzle pieces fit. So I think it's going to be a great award season for the San Francisco Giants, kicked off by Farhan Zaidi, Executive of the Year, soon to be followed Gabe Kapler, your National League
Close personal
Manager
friend.
of the Year.
Close personal friend.
A confidant.
Close personal friend of Dallas Braden. Yeah, it's that one's a no-brainer. You know what else is a
I know-
no-brainer?
Well, I was going to say, I know the Giants fans are wishing that they could this next ad read here is for the Giants fans. Because if they could do anything to just swipe it on and keep it lasting, oh, I bet they would, Carrabis. I bet they would.
Most guys have tried different ways to last longer, but thinking about baseball, it doesn't always work. The
Nope.
folks at Roman, an online men's health company, are changing the game with Roman Swipes. It's the secret to longer-lasting sex.
Fact.
Roman Swipes are a clinically proven way to last longer in bed. They're effective, easy to use, and they're fast-acting, but they don't require a prescription. Roman can ship swipes to you in discreet, unmarked packaging, and each Swipes packet is small enough to hide in your wallet for whenever you need it. They're super easy to use. Just take the swipes out of the packet. You swipe it on, you let it dry, and you're good to go. That's it. Just go to GetRoman.com/starting, and you can get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you choose a monthly plan. That is GetRoman.com/starting. All right. People are like, oh, where's Mount Rushmore? Where's the Mount Rushmore segment? Where's it at? Like, there's a little thing called the fucking World Series that we were paying attention to.
Yep.
We were going to get back to it when we got back to it. And now we're here.
Guess what?
And this Mount Rushmore Well, I think it's going to be. I'm not going to say it's one of the all-timers, but it's one of the big ones that I think the grounds crew is looking forward to, and that's the Chicago Cubs.
Go Cubs, go! Wow.
This is a three. This is a one open spot, I think.
One open spot. You just already locked the first three in.
Well, let's ask Big Cat.
I already asked Big Cat. He said quite literally solid from now until 7. But please feel free to extend. Carl is also traveling back from Pittsburgh right now.
Wait. Dan said he can do it from now until 7, or he's busy
Said
from
he-
now until 7?
He's busy from now until 7.
Oh. All right, well then fuck that then, I guess. All right, Ernie Banks is a very clear number 1.
Done. I mean, Mr. Cub. Need we say more?
No.
Need we say more?
No.
He spent all 19 seasons with the Cubbies. Obviously, Hall of Fame member. 512 pumps. 2-time NL MVP. 14-time All-Star. And your 1960 Gold Glove winner. Ernie Banks. Mr. Cub. Done deal.
Done deal.
Kind of feel like Ryan Sandberg's right there.
15 of 16 seasons with the Cubs. Hofer, MVP. 10 All-Star selections. 9 Gold Gloves. 7 Silver Sluggers. And you know what? Actually, you know what? That's not true. That might not. Well, let's just say it might not be true. I was going to say, you know what's really unfortunate is the fact that we can't talk about World Series titles with any of these guys. Maybe that's not true.
Ooh.
Maybe it's not. I don't know. Because that
Ooh.
4th spot is going to come down to 2 guys. And I.
But it's not. It really only comes down to 1 because as much as
All right,
one
we'll
of
get
those
ahead.
guys-
Oh.
one of them is liked a whole lot. One of them is loved.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
I will stand by that comment.
Yeah.
One of them is liked a whole lot.
Yeah.
One of them is loved.
Ron Santo,
Book it.
14 of 15 seasons with the Cubs. 337 jacks. 1290 stakes. Hofer. 9 All-Star appearances. 5 Gold Gloves. So now
Bowling.
we get down to that number 4 spot, which is a debate between Anthony Rizzo and Sammy Sosa.
I mean, before we get into that, can we just give some guys like Fergie Jenkins some love?
Yeah, friend of the program.
10 of 19 seasons with the Cubs. Obviously a Hall of Famer. 167 wins under his belt. 3.2 ERA. 4 top 4 Cy Young finishes with the Chicago Cubs. He won the damn thing in 71. Fergie. Don't know that he'll make
I don't think that there's any Cubs fans sitting here saying that it's not going to come down. Like, if you're going to have a representative, like Sammy Sosa is in the question, and then if you're going to have a representative from 16, it's going to be Rizzo.
Yeah, like Billy Williams, 16 of 18 years with the Cubs.
Yeah, that's big
I
time.
want to bet he's a batting champion, 6-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year.
Mhm.
When you think about organizations that have such storied history, they love them some like homegrown dudes. They love them some like primo talent from the beginning. Like when you're the Rookie of the Year, it's like you're the franchise's, you're the baby, right? Like you're the Gerber baby though. Like you're the best looking baby. You're the Rookie of the Year. Like this is our dude. He was our prize guy, our prize pig, and he won. Give him all the ribbons. So you're a part of that organization's fabric a little more. It just means a little more.
Mm.
But maybe he doesn't get the nod. 392 home runs, Rookie of the Year doesn't get you the nod. You spend 16 out of 18 years with the fucking same team.
Mm. Mm.
Because the one that the Chicago Cubs fans really like, Jared, they like him a whole lot. They like Chris Bryant a whole lot.
They like him.
They like him a whole lot.
You know what? They love him. They love him. But it's almost like a
not when we're having this conversation with him and Rizzo.
It's not an unconditional love. It's love. It's a strong love. I think it's a love that could last forever.
Because
but it's not that, like, it's not Anthony Rizzo love.
It just feels like, because Chris Bryant's a guy who won the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Who was woven into the fabric
MVP.
of this organization. MVP. But for whatever reason, it just feels like there's a different layer of love for Anthony Rizzo than there is from Chris Bryant.
Chris Bryant's beautiful.
Gorgeous human being.
He'll be
Great
okay.
player.
You know
Incredible
what, Dallas? This isn't a time for this. But Chris Bryant might be a fucking Mariner next year. What do you think about that?
If the Mariners are willing to spend,
I mean, Chris Bryant's not going to be commanding Seager money. It's not Correa money.
But they're going to have to. I mean, they're going to have to come up off the pocketbook.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be cheap, but I don't think it's going to be top market type deal.
No, and he's already gotten comfy on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm. He does look
Very
good.
well, may be a possibility. I know. I do know that there are some third basemen and first basemen that are on the market these days, Jared. I do know that.
Mm-hmm.
So who's your fourth?
I mean, I'm going Rizzo. I think with Sammy Sosa, I mean, without the title in 16, I don't think Rizzo makes the cut. I think it's Sosa because there was a time where Sammy Sosa was equal to Michael Jordan's popularity, if not a little bit more popular in Chicago, nationally. Like, let's not undersell the significance and the height of the summer of 98. That was a big fucking deal. But you know what was a bigger deal? When the goddamn Cubs won their first World Series title in 108 years. So I don't know if it's a matter of they at this point, yes, Cubs fans like Anthony Rizzo more than they like Sammy Sosa. But at the peak of their popularity, Sammy Sosa was more popular than Anthony Rizzo.
Is it look? It's weird to me that it feels like that the Cubs fans do value or love Anthony Rizzo more than they love Chris Bryant when you think about what Chris Bryant did for the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
Because he was the MVP the year they win the World Series.
Was it? I thought it was 15. Was it?
No, he was Rookie of the Year in 15.
Yeah.
And then wins the fucking World Series.
Yeah, Chris Bryant won the MVP the year that they won the World Series. Yeah.
I mean,
it is strange. It is odd. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what the separating factor is in terms of why there's such a gap, or just like an obvious gap between Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant, but it does exist, and I think that's you look
what?
at
I'll
Sammy.
say this. Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and this is I think this should be acknowledged. Maybe is as to why, not as to why, but I think it plays a role in why Anthony Rizzo goes through a very public cancer battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
With
so
the Red
you
Sox,
just,
though.
What's that?
With the Red Sox.
But you're sort of you're rallying around the human being. And I think maybe that, I don't know, maybe that kind of puts Anthony Rizzo on a different radar for fans. You know, like you're a fan of Anthony Rizzo, the ball player, whether he's a Cub, a Red Sox, a Yankee, or whatever, you know, and he wins the World Series there, and you're now like, I don't know, maybe you just fall in love with him a little more because you're happy for the guy because of the battle. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess. But I feel like that just...
Like, I'm not saying that that's why. I'm saying maybe that factors in. I don't know.
I don't even know if that factors in. If it didn't happen with the Cubs organization, I don't know that Cubs fans are like, yeah, like I remember like when he was going through that and we had his back. It's like, well, no. You don't remember that because you definitely weren't paying attention because he wasn't in your organization. I'm sure it's like, the work that he does within the community.
Yeah.
Like him being a cancer survivor, I'm sure I don't know what type of like charity work he does, but I'm sure he's involved with like kids with cancer and stuff like that. I'm sure they see that. Not that Chris Bryant doesn't.
No. I'm just saying
one guy was labeled the captain and the other guy wasn't.
Yeah, and I just think that like with Rizzo being, because he's a dude because of what he's gone through. He's like Trey Mancini. Like I don't know how you're a baseball fan and you're not a fan of Trey Mancini. Like that's just a dude you pull for. And yeah, it has to do with shit that they've gone through off the field. But that's okay for you to want a guy to have success or care about a guy or a guy be on your radar just because of that. Yeah, that's okay. Like you want good things to happen to good people. And Anthony Rizzo, pretty good dude.
That being said, I'm going David Ross.
David Ross. Pappy. I think it's tough to not have a World Series champion on there, and I'm going Anthony Rizzo.
He is a World Series champion.
What?
David Ross homered in Game 7. People forget that.
No, I understand that he's a World Series champion.
No.
I wasn't stating that like
I didn't have a World
you
Series
just
champion.
made. Right. No, I was just saying that out of my 3 selections, Anthony Rizzo being the 4th.
No, I'm going Anthony Rizzo. I'm going Anthony Rizzo. I just wanted to mention Rossi's name. Deserves it. Put it this way. You go back and you watch some, like the World Series film and you YouTube some of the parade stuff. The 2016 World Series Championship parade and World Series celebration, if there was one player who was celebrated more than the other players on the team, it was David Ross.
They love them some Grandpa Rossi.
Love. Yeah. So that's an honorable mention for me.
We got play. You want to play a little Pepper?
Yeah. Qualifying offers go out.
They did. Clayton Kershaw did not receive one.
Clayton Kershaw did not receive one. Marcus Semien haven't there. Correa, no chance he accepts. Verlander, no chance he accepts. Semien, Ray, no chance that they accept. But I do think that there's a chance that Robbie Ray can come back. Freddie Freeman, no chance. Seager, Chris Taylor. Brandon Belt, I still think will end up with the Giants. I think the most slam dunk, you should take it, qualifying offer guy, Noah Syndergaard. I'm shocked that the Mets
have given him an offer.
Yeah.
Or have...
What? Why? Why would you do that? You could probably not make him the qualifying offer and still get him back for like fucking half that. He's been damaged goods for a long time.
Yeah. Could be head scratching. Maybe they feel like they're in the clear with him, but I don't know that you're ever really in the clear.
Yeah.
It's
too bad that the A's couldn't afford a qualifying offer to Mark Canha, though.
No, well, that might mean that Mark Canha. I mean, look, I don't know that Mark Canha is making 20 or close to 20 million on average a year.
His numbers when they compared them, I think it was like over the last 3 seasons or so, compared to like Kyle Schwarber and JD Martinez, not. I mean, he stacks up.
I mean, there were some platoon issues, not issues, but there were some platoon questions, and there was a little bit of a power outage at the end of the season. But that also has to do with him being asked to hit in the leadoff spot, and a shift in approach. So I don't know. The Kershaw thing just I don't know that. Like I said, I don't know that Kershaw ever pitches in another uniform.
You think he might fucking retire?
No.
Okay. You think he's going to come back to the Dodgers? Because I don't. I don't get that sense at all.
No.
No. I think this is it. I think this is it for Kershaw in Dodger Blue. I think he ends up with the Texas Rangers. He ends up with
Houston or Texas.
The Angels. Yeah, I think he's done in Dodger Blue, which is sad. I mean, like, if there's anyone right now who's active, if we were to power rank the guys who deserve to finish their careers with the team that they're with, Kershaw is number one. Freddie Freeman's on that list, and he still has a chance to do that. I'm not saying that Kershaw doesn't have a chance to do it. It just does not.
Sounds like that's what you're saying. Sounds like that's what you're saying. You've got Clayton Kershaw already going over to Tempe Diablo Stadium for the Anaheim Angels.
Chance. I give him a 7% chance he comes back to the Dodgers. 7.
Wow. Can't believe you just. I mean, because the Angels did extend Raisel Iglesias a qualifying offer,
which would make him the highest paid reliever on an average salary, right?
Yes, correct.
That doesn't seem right.
Well, hey, it's about to happen.
Yeah, it's not like the Angels are known for making the best decisions in regards to their pitching
If you're
staff.
Iglesias, like honestly, I don't know. Maybe you're like, you know what? I feel like the multi-piece is what I'm looking for. Like, is this not just a great opportunity to cash your 18 and pitch well for another year and find a contender?
What's stopping them from making you the qualifying offer again, though? Like, I think you want to ride that off into the sunset and be like, I understand like the 1 year at 18 is tempting. I wouldn't blame him if he took it, but if you're in a position to get 3-4 years,
well,
I'm more interested in the years as a reliever. I think it's based on
just
position.
3 for 45. Is that what we're talking about? 3 for 45.
What's that math?
15.
Yeah. I'd be very happy with that. I would take the years, no doubt, because it can fall apart real quick.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what the Dodgers. They've got some questions. They've got some question marks. Dodgers definitely have some question marks.
What do you put the odds at?
I don't know. It's an interesting conversation with Kershaw because it does become one of those. This is a very forward-thinking organization, and they're not necessarily in a hurry to sign up to take care of an old dog if they're not going to be getting what they expect out of that quote-unquote old dog, that old dog being Kershaw. Do they believe they're going to be able to get what they're looking for out of him based on the compensation? If they feel like there's a big enough gap there, that move is going to be very interesting to see play out because of who Kershaw is, what he means to this organization. It would signal a very real, like, hey, we don't care about that. We're not concerned about him spending.
Stop beating around the bush, Dallas. Answer the fucking question.
The remainder of his years.
What are the odds Clayton Kershaw
uniform
is pitching for the Los Angeles Dodgers next year? Give me a percentage. Give me a number.
Part of me wants to say over 50%.
Over 50%, Dallas.
Because Clayton Kershaw has the World Series. Clayton Kershaw has every single thing you could possibly want. And the only thing he wants more is another ring. And if you could, I don't know, go the route of a Tom Brady and say, restructure what you gotta. Do what you gotta do. Bring in the folks around us that are going to make this possible. And if I'm somebody you see being able to give you, because how many starts did he make this year?
I mean,
20 plus, right? If Kershaw's a guy that you're okay with giving you 25 starts,
22 starts. That's a lot more than I thought. I thought it would have been in the 18 to 20 range.
So if Clayton Kershaw is somebody that you can get 20 to 25 starts out of, and he knows that, and you know that, and you can come to terms on the compensation, now the idea of spending your career with the same team, being competitive in doing so, and not being in the way of that, that's a lot of personal reflection. That's a lot of inner reflection that's got to happen. And that's got to happen with Clayton, nobody else. Am I okay with who I think I am right now as a performer? Do I understand the sort of compensation that's attached to me here in this organization? Or do I want to go elsewhere where the compensation might be different, but obviously the expectations will be different as well? And what does that look like? Like, is Clayton Kershaw pitching for the Philadelphia Phillies? Is that lighting him a new fire?
I don't even think it's at the point where you need to light a new fire. I think it's just like where are you comfortable? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to ride off into the sunset?
That's why I say you got the money, you got the ring, you got everything you want. It's all about how you want.
There's a lot of smoke around the Texas Rangers.
Sure. How do you want to end this? How do you want to end this? That's
the Justin Verlander sweepstakes will be very interesting. He was made the qualifying offer.
Yeah, he's fucking blowing 96, 97 in his workout.
A lot of teams were at his little showcase that he had the other day.
Well, hey, either way you slice it, the Dodgers got their lefty, Carrabis.
The
Dodgers got their lefty. Andrew Heaney.
The Heen machine.
Book it.
I mean, that's a game changer.
Does that give you the same kind of feeling as when a
Chris Sale ends up in Boston?
No, like when Tampa jumps all over somebody that you might have had questions about, or maybe Cleveland jumps all over an arm that you might have had questions about. Now you're like, oh, hold on. Why were they so quick to do that? What are they seeing?
It was fast, wasn't it?
Oh my God! Come on! Like after the postseason or the stretch run that the guy had.
Well, they bought out Joe Kelly, and I remember when they signed him, the whole thing was, we got this idea for this hybrid role out of the bullpen where Joe Kelly is going to be essentially what Andrew Miller was for the Indians in the playoffs, the Guardians in the playoffs in 2016, where you're going to pitch often and you're going to go multiple innings when you do. Joe Kelly was never that guy. He was never going to be that guy. But maybe Andrew Heaney can be that guy. It's like, we're going to put you in the bullpen, but you're going to be going 2, if we need 3, you're going to be that guy.
So we'll see how it works out. Because this could be definitely could just be a swing man. And let's remember, if you're going to be getting leverage outs multiple times in a series, maybe make a start here or there when there's days off or somebody needs to get pushed back, that's going to be an important role in the bullpen. It always is.
The fucking Heen machine. Were there any other interesting names there for qualifying offer guys? Like Eddie, I guess like Eddie Rodriguez, I think that there is a chance that he takes it, but I don't want to say I'll be surprised if he takes it. I think that there's a small chance he does, but there's got to be a 4 or 5 year deal waiting for him out there somewhere. I know the Twins are kind of desperate. I'd love to see him come back to Boston. What are you laughing at?
I said the Angels.
The Angels are always going to be linked to pitching, and then they'll just never fucking add it.
Yep.
Like Robbie Ray, Eddie. Who else is out there? I don't know. They're not going to end up with any of them, in my opinion.
No.
Also, I woke up this morning. My hand was very bruised. My top hand from just crushing, screaming liners in that game on Saturday.
Where? Oh, I was going to say where at, because you didn't hit a crushing or screaming liner in that game on Saturday.
Yeah, I did.
Where'd it go?
I got to go back and look at the tape.
Well, I mean, you clearly remember.
No, I don't.
Hitting a crushing, screaming liner. You just
blacked out, dude. It blacked out.
Oh, man. Was it to a left-handed shortstop on the other team who gobbled it up and made a fucking ridiculous play on the run?
I mean, I was definitely jogging.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't have mattered.
I got a bad hammy. No, it was a bang-bang play, and I was running at like 55% effort. So.
I wanted to underhand it over there just to put an exclamation point on it.
I put you over there. I wanted you to look good. Like, I knew exactly what speed to run that would make it a close play, but I'd be out.
Yep. The old broke down Lesty moseyed on out to shortstop and made what some are calling the play of the day. And that's really only the second best play of the day next to the other ridiculous play I made.
My hose from right field to third base.
No.
That kept
the play I made
in
left field running to avoid the L screen. We also got to give some love to Texas Rangers manager Chris Woodward, who made a hell of a diving stop. A hell of a play. Didn't mean much because we still won the game.
Nah. You guys weren't even the home team, and you like walked off. They just randomly decided, like, hey, like the top of the eighth is gonna be the end of it. We're like, all right, cool, I guess.
I don't make the rules, Jared. I just play the game.
Dallas's team walked off, even though it was the top of the eighth. We could have just played a couple more frames if we had to. Nah, you know what? It was cool though. I'll say that was like the first thing I said to my dad when he picked me up at the airport. I was like, you know how cool it was to catch a fly ball in right field and throw it into my second baseman, Ian Kinsler? Like, you know how cool that is? Or like anytime that like there was an out recorded that like Kinsler and I were doing like a different thing to like signal how many outs there were. It's like, that was fun. Like, that was probably the most fun part of the game for me, other than getting to face Dallas and hitting a fucking rocket, like almost like off the wall and right. Other than that, it would, like, if I were to power rank it, it would be number one was knowing like you still got it. You can fucking hose anyone at any time from long distance range. That was number one. Hearing like a major leaguer say this dude has an arm that belongs in the big leagues. That was number one.
That was
number two, hitting a rocket off Dallas that, you know, okay, cool. They get the book on me. They had the right shift on, whatever. Guy caught it, is what it is. They, I mean,
the umpire was
away
blind and called it an
outfielders
infield
shit all
fly
over the
based on
right.
the sound off the bat.
It was crazy. And then number three was, you know, the engagement with Ian Kinsler, my second baseman. Having that camaraderie on the team, which, by the way, every time that we play in like one of these like celeb games, I'm always a cancer to the team. Always.
You are. You are always. Always. You are all your own team hates you before you even take the field.
Yeah. I bring nothing.
Yelich wanted to trade you before we had even started to warm up. Yelly wanted to trade you.
I mean, I refused to take the field in the first inning. I bring nothing but bad vibes. I bring nothing but bad vibes, but also tremendous production to my team.
That
So it's
second
like-
part is not true. So I don't know how we don't get invited to more of these.
I've never been traded before because it's it's like a Manny Ramirez situation where it's like, yeah, we're going to put up with all this bullshit because this dude is a flat out superstar. What are we going to do? We're not going to give him to the other team. We want to win this thing. We need guys. I know he's going to sit at the end of the dugout by himself, and he's not going to be a good teammate. He's not going to cheer for anyone but himself. By the way, when I got that knock, I asked for the baseball. They didn't give it to me. So, fuck, I'm not playing in this game next year. But no, overall, I had a great time. An
Well,
awesome
good.
time.
I'm glad you did. Special thanks to our friends at Warstick. They made it all possible.
I was joking about wanting the baseball. If I got a hit off of you, I would have made them give me the baseball.
Well, that will never happen, so you don't ever have to worry about that.
That's not true. I feel like
Not-
I only got one look at you, and it was a fucking piss rocket that just got caught.
My God.
If I get
Piss
another
rocket.
look, whew,
I mean, I'm
it's going to be 3
easing-
left turns, Dallas.
I'm easing 53 miles an hour in there for you guys to have at, and just getting outs, just dialing up outs left and right. That's all I did. Dial up outs. Dial up outs.
3 left turns.
Never. Wow!